The lighting in here is really bad, but I don't know how to really work it. It's like good to see in, but not good for videoing. But hi. I also don't have any makeup on, and I didn't do my hair this morning because I just want to get started on these crafts, because the more I avoid it, more excuses I make of why I haven't started, then the longer it's going to be until I get done. And it's already October 5th, and I have a pile of fall crafts back here that I haven't even started on because I keep making excuses. But anyway, if you're new here, hello, my name is Emily. Welcome. If you are not new here and you've seen me before, then it's been a long time and I'm sorry. But long story short, and I'll get a better video out eventually. Long story short is I got a new job, which also resulted in a new house. So I'm in my designated craft room, which I am super excited about, but I haven't used yet. So I've been here for about 6 months, maybe more closer to 5 months. And yeah, there's a lot going on, but I haven't been on YouTube in a while because my job was a lot more like demanding than I was expecting, and I just haven't been on it. But we're gonna get some fall craft videos out for you today. That's what I'm doing right now. So let's get started.
The first one we're going to do is this dupe of this Pottery Barn wreath. So this retails for $89 and it's out of stock. It's actually like I think one from last year. The first thing you'll need is a wreath form. You get this one at Dollar Tree. I got the biggest one that they've got. And then you will need a bunch of these clip-on pumpkins. I use 24 packs, and you can get a whole bunch of different kinds at Dollar Tree. You just pick whichever one you like, but they have these clips on the back, so it's literally you just clip them on there. And that's the extent of it. Like, it was just super easy. They do kind of like wiggle around a little bit, but the more pumpkins you put on, the more they will stay. With 25 packs of pumpkins and the wreath form, it didn't end up being my cheapest DIY, but still I think it turned out great and was still cheaper than $89, and I love it. The next dupe we're making is this $85 ghost pillow. So I didn't want a pillow, one, because my kids would just claim it as a stuffy. Two, I've got too many pillows on my couch. So I still liked this and wanted to make something similar, but ours is just going to sit on top of a table. So you'll need 2 of the ghosts that they sell at Dollar Tree and 2 of the paper towel holders that they need. The inside of these hanging ghosts that they have is like the perfect shape for this, but then the paper towel holders act as a stand for it. Then you'll also need some Sherpa type material. What I use is actually a blanket from Five Below, so I only paid like $5 for it. And then I need hot glue and some felt. So I had my husband use some bolt cutters to chop off the very tops of the paper towel holders, and then was just able to slide the styrofoam heads down into those paper towel holders. Next, I cut my Sherpa blanket into 4ths and then use that to just drape over it. Since the form of the old ghost still has those little arms, you're able to position those in the perfect location. I cut off the excess and then secured the Sherpa onto the styrofoam with some hot glue. Then I cut out some eyes out of some scrap felt pieces that I had. So I wanted to slow down and show you though how I got the pumpkins to stay. So this is really hard to do with one hand, sorry. The pumpkins I use are actually left over from that first craft that we did. All I had to do was pull the little clip off of the back, and then they're made out of styrofoam. So it made it super easy to attach because the very end of the hands and here are just wires. So I was able to take those wires and just stick them straight through the material and then stick them straight into my pumpkins. And then just look how they turned out. They're so stinking cute. I just gotta try not to get any like spaghetti sauce or anything on them while they're sitting right here next to my stove. The next Pottery Barn dupe are these lit woven bats. I can't figure out how much these actually cost originally on Pottery Barn because whenever I search for them, I can only find like out of stock right now. But I found some dupes from them on Walmart and they were $67 for a set of 2. But you can get these cute little sparkly bats at Dollar Tree. I got 3 of them, and then I found some black raffia on Amazon. I'll link to it down below. So the part that has the purple tinsel just pops right back off, and you could remove the purple tinsel and pop it right back on, but I decided not to because I wanted to be able to see through the wings a little bit more. But I will say that it makes it a little bit more sturdy. The black tinsel comes off really easily. It is just hooked around a few hooks that are around the body, and then the stuff on the wings is just hot glued on, so it comes off pretty easily. You can sit there and pull it off forever, but you wrap it around enough, you won't ever be able to see that. So I wrapped the black raffia around until I just started to like the look. And then you can get the sparkly lights from Dollar Tree as well, or if you have some on hand like I do somewhere, you can add those, but I kind of liked the more simplistic look, so I didn't add the sparklies, but hung them up on my wall, and I really like how they turned out. The next dupe we're going to do is these handmade terracotta pumpkins. They're also out of stock, but even the smallest one is $79. I don't even want to know how much the biggest one is. I scoured thrift stores for some jack-o'-lantern pumpkins and couldn't find any of them, so I went ahead and just caved and bought these from Walmart. The big one was $20, the little one was $10, which was more than I wanted to pay, but I actually found this even smaller one at the thrift store for $7, so honestly I didn't think the price that I paid for the ones from Walmart were that bad. You might remember I did something similar to this last year, but the paint for those are coming off, so this year I want to make sure that I did everything to keep that paint from coming off. So I first sanded it, and then I used a can of spray paint primer. Last year I did the hack of mixing baking soda with paint. This year I'm getting lazy, so to add texture I used this stone spray paint. I just did a light coat of that to give it some dimension and really give it the terracotta look. Then I found a terracotta colored spray paint from Lowe's. I kind of wish that I would have gone with a little bit more of a brown color, but again, I'm getting lazy this year. But as same as last year, I coated it with some flour and then dusted it off with a old makeup brush. Sorry, my garage light is on a timer, so that's what happened right there. I did try to seal it with just a clear spray sealing that I have, but that took away, kind of dissolved the flower look. So I dusted some more flour on that afterwards, and then this is the finished product. I want to add some fairy lights to it, but I gotta find mine. I don't know where they went, lost in the packing process. This is a surprisingly cheap leaf tray for Pottery Barn, but also a Pottery Barn dupe that I knew I would be able to do cheaper than $30 or even $20. So I found this tray at a thrift store. No, it's not a thrift store. I think a yard sale. And I'm thinking somebody else also tried to DIY this one and then stamped Pure One on the back. I don't know. I don't think it's Pure One. If you can't find one at the thrift store or yard sale, you can get this one at Dollar Tree, which is actually even a better shape, closer to the Pottery Barn one than the one I've got. But I also found this at Dollar Tree. I know it's not a leaf, it's a pumpkin, but I decided to do the same thing with it as I did the other ones. So I did the same process as with these. The first couple of steps as I did with the pumpkins, I sanded them down a little bit and then I coated them with a can of primer, and then also to give them the texture I spray painted some of that stone spray paint. But one thing I did differently was before the stone spray paint dried, I put my black on there. It kind of toned down the texture a little bit, which I really kind of liked. The last step, I used a paper towel to dab on some gold paint to give it that like slightly gold color that the Pottery Barn one has. And I really liked how these turned out. I had most of the materials already on hand. I paid less than $5. I think it was like obviously $1.25 for the ones from Dollar Tree, and then I paid $2 for the one from the yard sale. But yeah, they turned out super cute, and this was a very easy craft to do. Anyone could do this one. This next one is not a Pottery Barn dupe or really a dupe at all. It's just a viral craft that's been going around that I really wanted to try. What you need is a white pumpkin. I got mine. It's the carvable one from Walmart, and then a pack of pressed flowers. I found this pack on Amazon. I'll link to it down below. And then you also need Mod Podge and a paintbrush. So you paint on a thin layer of Mod Podge, put on the flower, paint on a thin layer on top of it, and this is what you get. And there you have it, fall DIY ideas that you can do from mostly Pottery Barn, one nut.
sorry it took me so long to get this out. I just, you know, life happens, and I still like to make time for things that I enjoy, so I tried my hardest. But they were still super fun to do, and I'm really excited. Like, every time I walk past them in my house, I'm absolutely in love. So hopefully there's something that you can try too, or give you ideas. But thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time, hopefully with more of an explanation video of where I've been for so long. But if not, just deal with it. I'm just kidding. See you guys.